If you want to work faster and smarter, then this is a book that introduces us to a structured and a time-effective approach to solving complex problems and testing innovative ideas. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Teresa and I'm a product director based in Melbourne, Australia. And on this channel, we explore strategies and tools that inspire us to keep growing in our product career. In this video, I will share my key takeaways from the book Sprint: Solve Big Problems and Test New Ideas in Just 5 Days. The book is broken down into a 5-day process aimed at rapidly moving from idea to prototype. So I'll just break down each day and share my key takeaways. A bit about the author before we start. Jake Knapp, he has coached hundreds of teams at places like Miro, Slack, Lego and NASA on product strategies and time management. And he also co-founded Google Meets and invented the design sprint. Before we jump into each day, to set up the sprint for success, you must ensure there are 2 things done properly: the right challenge and the right team. The right challenge, this means being clear on the problem you are solving for. Jake suggests that the more complex the challenge, the better, as the structure of the 5-day sprint dedicated to breaking through complex problems with speed. Example, problems that you might set the direction or the course of a strategy, long projects that are stuck, that this could actually be a great chance to restart with a fresh approach to solving the problems. The idea is to get the surface right, where the product and service meet the customers. Then you can work backwards on the underlying systems or technology. Focusing on the surface allows you to move faster and answer big questions before committing to execution. Now, the right team, you need a leader and a set of diverse skills in order to solve the challenge. Together, to build that sprint team, you first need someone with authority. This person is the decider. It's officially the decision maker for the project. So for example, at startups, this may be the CEO, and for large companies, this could be the main stakeholder, an executive sponsor, a subject matter expert, or a product manager. The decider generally understands the product in depth, and they often have strong opinions and criteria to help find the right solution. So let's jump into Monday. The goal of Monday is to lock in a problem you and your team will be solving for within the next 5 days. To do this, you'll need to set a long-term goal for your team to think about, where you want to be the next 6 months, the 12 months, or even 3 years from now. Next, write a list of questions you want to answer during the sprint to help you validate the long-term goal. From there, you'll need to map out the customer journeys to reach the end goal. Make sure you keep it simple, around 5 to 15 steps. Anything more then is way too complex for the team to solve within 5 days. And then ask the experts in the room to validate the goals and the customer journey. It's important that the subject matter experts or sponsors are in the room for the first day, as it will ensure that there is agreement on the problem that you are solving for and additional context they can provide. From then, get the team to organize and structure notes throughout the day by using the how might we method. Example, how might we ensure coffees arrive fresh? And using these structures to place them across the customer journey and do a voting system to see where they should be focused on. By the end of the activity, you should have chosen 1 target customer and 1 target problem on the journey. This will become the focus for the rest of the sprint, where the team will sketch out solutions, prototypes, and test all flows with customers. Tuesday, the goal is to come up with a solution. Start with a quick review session from Monday to recap the goals and the problem the team is focused on. Then ask everyone on the team to make a list of products and services for inspiration around different solutions. Remind people to think outside of the industry or the field to get inspiration from different point of view. Allow everyone to present back a 3 demo each and capture any big ideas as you go along the way. Sketch out the solution. There is 4 simple steps within the book that helps you to get to a solution. First, gather key information that you have by reviewing all the keynotes around the problem and the customer from Monday. Then draw up some rough solutions. Then do a fast-paced exercise called Crazy 8s where each person takes their strongest idea and sketches them into 8 variations within 8 minutes. The idea here is pushing past your first solution and making them better and have alternatives to consider. Then finally, each person will pick one solution and sketch it out in more detail. Wednesday, the goal is to decide which solution will have the best chance of achieving your long-term goal and set a plan for prototyping. There's a 5-step in deciding which solution the team should prototype, and everything is evolved around sticky notes. The first step is called the Art Museum. By putting the solution sketches on the wall for display, ensuring that all sketches are anonymous and no one should have seen everyone's sketches until today. The second part is the heat map exercise. Looking at all the solutions, the team will use dot stickers to mark parts where they think is quite interesting in the solution. This part of the exercise should be silent, as the sketches should have enough details to be able to interpret what are they trying to do. Next is the speed critique. As a group, quickly discuss the highlights of each of the solution and use sticky notes to capture big ideas. There's a time limit here on this activity so that it will be quite rapid with the discussions. Then a straw poll. Each person chooses one solution and votes for it. Lastly, the super vote. The decider maker makes the final decision with 3 sticky dots while everyone gets 1. From that, you should have the solution decided. Once the solution has been chosen, next is to plan for the prototype. Using a storyboard method, this should be about 10 to 15 minutes long and is tightly connected into one cohesive story. Within the storyboard, you have an opening scene, that is how customers will find your product or service. This can be from web search, social media, or in an app store. And then fill out the storyboard frame by frame, put it in just enough detail so you know what happens in the next frame. And ensure that the team are discussing the storyboarding together. And that is your plan for prototyping. Thursday, the goal is now to turn that storyboard into a realistic prototype. It's important on Thursday that the team understands that a prototype is from perfect to just enough, and a long-term quality to temporary simulation. To achieve what is necessary within one day, you'll need to be optimistic that you can prototype anything to test your product or validate the problem. Prototypes are disposable, meaning that this solution might not work, so don't give in to temptation of spending a few days or weeks getting it ready. Build just enough to learn, but not more, because this prototype is to answer questions that you have written up on Monday. So stay focused. A prototype must appear real to get trustworthy results. You can't simply ask the customer to use their imagination. You want their reaction to be genuine and get them to react naturally and honestly. Example, by showing them the drawings or simplify wireframes of your design. Next, building out the prototype. Ensure that you pick the right tool, so the hardware or the software, using keynotes or PowerPoint to show different screens, or even if it's a service, get the team member to be the actors and write up scripts. Next is divide and conquer amongst the team. Ensure that everyone plays a role in this, as this is a huge task. There are makers who create the scenes or the prototype, stitches that is responsible for collecting the components that the makers have made and combining them into a seamless fashion, writers who will be putting words on the prototype to ensure the prototype flows, asset collectors, someone that can source images, icons and photos that may be required in the prototype, and the interviewer that will conduct the final customer interview on Friday. Next is stitching it all together to ensure that the content is consistent throughout the prototype, and finally, do a trial run in the afternoon. This is a chance for the team to fix up any mistakes or patches along the way and cross-check with the storyboard. And finally, Friday. The final goal of the sprint is to interview customers and learn. In preparation of Friday, you should have already locked in customers for the interviews prior to kicking off the whole 5-day sprints. In the book, Jake talks about the magic number 5, which is the number of customers you should interview to have just enough insight. The more customers you'll get, it will just become a lot more work, and increase the number of customers will quickly reach a point of diminishing return. So there's a 5-step process in conducting a one-on-one interview with customers that provides a structured conversation. First, start with a friendly welcome. Then a series of general open-ended context questions about the customers. These questions helps to build a rapport, but also gives context for understanding and interpreting your customer's reaction and responses. Introduce the customer to the prototypes. Give customers detailed tasks to see their reaction as they go through the prototypes. Provide nudges and ask them questions along the way. And ended with a quick debrief to capture the customer's final overarching thoughts and impressions. Now, during these interviews, ensure everyone in the team is there to watch it together and learn together. Everyone on the team should take notes as a group, as each person can pick up on something unique. The best way is to map out the journey for the prototype on a whiteboard and each of the team members' name on a vertical column, so everyone can group their notes later together. Post the interview, share the notes amongst the group, and look for patterns from insights. Then review the questions the team have set out on Monday and see if they were answered or any learnings were gained through this process. The key thing to remember on this day is that it's all about learning within 5 days. You'll get validation if you are on the right track of your idea or solution. Although I haven't practiced this method like for like, I have adopted some combination of this within a 2-week sprint. I believe if you have a hard problem to solve, regardless of the organization size you're in, this method is definitely worth trying with your team. It's all about locking time away with your team without any distraction and keeping them focused on solving the problem and validate the solution with the customer in a rapid and effective way. If you find this video helpful or inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you'd like to share your thoughts about this book, please share in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.